Get your tickets and we'll stop staring at you. Alternate title, James wields a chainsaw.
Work in the vicarage orchard. Birds were singing and apples were ripening on the trees.
Ironically enough, today was the day that Sir Isaac Newton was to drive Trevor. Let's watch.
As my red paint. Oh, I am, replied Trevor. What's that noise? It's the bees, laughed Trevor.
An Amazon attack. A deadly bee weapon. Bees, my God.
His bees make good honey, and he's giving some of them to his friends.
Happy birthday, Stephen. I got you bees.
Boko, the diesel engine, hummed in.
That's right, George. Gotta mention that he's a diesel engine, because, you know, there's so many other Bokos running around Sodor.
The bees angry. They might sting you. James didn't like being told what to do by a diesel.
James is just racist like that.
Goodbye, Trevor, called Boko, and set off to see Duck at the next station.
And by the next station, I guess we mean the docks. Oh well.
The engine twins were busy arranging cars, but they scampered off when they saw Boko.
Scamper, 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 scamper.
I remember the first time I met those.
OMG, it is not fair that Duck and Boko are not in Thomas anymore. I will write petitions and make them work to make them back in the series, because it is bad.
Duck. I sometimes call them the bees.
No, not the bees! Not the bees!
James bustled in. What's that, Duck? Are you afraid of bees? They're only insects after all, so don't let that Buzzbox diesel tell you different.
Really? Buzzbox is the best you can come up with?
He didn't.
I'm ashamed that I used to go to you for insults, James.
I'd just blow smoke and make them buzz off.
James, saying things like that sets you up for karmic retribution.
Retorted Duck.
You know, there's something vaguely symbolic about Knapford Station. I'll let you know if I think of what it is.
Excited and keen to get on board. The platform was crowded, and the porter was in a hurry. Mind your backs, he shouted.
Okay, whose bright idea was it to build the beehives out of broken Sodor buffers? Well, that guy in brown's taking his sweet time.
James heard a familiar buzzing. The bees were too cold to be cross, so they buzzed around the fireman, hoping he'd...
Oh, they're in my eyes! My eyes!
So the bees turned to James. His boiler was nice and warm.
Wow, now James can go to Comic-Con as Swarm, the Nazi made of bees.
One bee burnt
a real Marvel Comics character. Wikipedia it.
He thought James had burnt him on purpose.
So for Gondor! Take that!
Eee! Whistled James. He had had enough. So had his fireman and driver.
Both of whom had suffered multiple stab wounds. Hey, Knapford Station looks like breasts.
They had left all their coaches behind. They tried everything to get rid of the bees. First, they spun on the turntable, but to no avail.
Getting a strange sense of deja vu, eh, James?
Washing them off, but the bees clung harder to James's warm boiler. Then they tried smoking them off by going
again with the pipe weed.
But still, the bees wouldn't go away. It's no good, James, said his driver. We'll just have to go back to the orchard and fetch another hive.
And why was that not the first course of action that they took? Really? Okay, British people, help me out. Do all vicars dress like that? Because that's an awesome hat.
When he arrived, the bees swarmed straight into their new home.
I think you mean home, is Mr. Carlin, plural.
Come on, James, said his driver. What you need now is a good hose down.
Wow, WTL Network was right. This stuff really does write itself.
Resting in the shed when the vicar came to see him. Thank you for saving my bees.
Well, apparently the vicar is a Sith Lord.
I call you James, the red-nosed engine. Everyone laughed, even James. But instead, they decided to call James the bee's knees, which means they thought
but he doesn't have
more
knees.
useful than ever.
And now for an exciting installment of Ask Don Handel. Dear Don Handel, why in the first 11 seasons of Thomas and Friends did none of the engines move their mouths when they spoke?
An excellent question, Consigliere Sam. I shall answer it on the day of my daughter's wedding. To tell you the truth, I have no idea why the other characters never moved their mouths. But as for myself, I was doing that trick with the orange peel. Booga 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 booga. Submit your questions to Don Handel today in the comments section for this video, or else the Don may have to make you an offer you can't refuse.